I also want to bring in Suresh Gupta into this conversation since, Sanjay Jha raised the issue of Diljit Dosanjh. Suresh Gupta, what is wrong if people-to-people contact is maintained? After all, that Pakistani actress is not a gun-wielding terrorist. What is wrong if she's a part of an Indian film, sir? Why are you against it, sir?
2019 में जब पुलवामा अटैक हुआ, उसके बाद पाकिस्तानियों ने भारत की सारी मूवी पर प्रतिबंध लगा दी और उन्होंने कई मूवी पहले प्रतिबंध लगाई, जैसे रईस मूवी, एकता टाइगर, पैंथम, ऐसे कई मूवी। जब पाकिस्तान हमारे मूवी को प्रतिबंध लगा रहा है, उसके बाद भी हम वहाँ के लोगों को लेकर काम कर रहे हैं। पुलवामा अटैक हुआ अभी हाल ही में, पहलगाम हुआ, 26/11 से कई आतंकवादी हमले होते जा रहे हैं और उसके बाद भी हम पाकिस्तानी कलाकारों को लेकर भारत में काम कर रहे हैं। और ये वही पाकिस्तान है जो आगे भी हमला करेगा। पहलगाम आज हुआ है, फिर वो करेगा। अभी अमरनाथ यात्रा चालू हुई है, वहां के लोग पाकिस्तान से सुरक्षा करने के लिए हमारे जवान तैनात है। किस लिए तैनात है? पाकिस्तान के सेफ्टी, भारत की सुरक्षा के लिए। बार बार ये आतंकवादी हमले कर रहा है, उसके बाद भी हम चुप रहते हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं गलती हमारी है, क्योंकि हम स्टैंड ले नहीं पा रहे। दिलजीत की जो बात है, दिलजीत हमारा भारतीय है, उनसे कोई खफा नहीं है, लेकिन जब आपको स्टैंड लेने की बात आती है, आप ना, मूवी कोई बड़ी बजट की नहीं थी, आप चाहे तो सीन काट सकते थे, मूवी को रोक सकते थे, लेकिन आपने उसे चलने दिया। तो ये बात हो रही, स्टैंड लेने की बात हो रही है। और सबसे पहले बात, जो भारत की सरहद को, सीमा को जो सुरक्षित रहते हैं हमारे जवान, आज उनकी जान जारी शहीद हो रहे, हजारों की तादाद में उन्होंने जान दी है और हजारों की, सैकड़ों की तादाद में सिविलियंस आतंकवादियों ने मारा भारत में। उसके बाद भी हम फिर भी पाकिस्तान को मौका पे मौका दे रहे हैं और पाकिस्तान फिर आतंकवादी हमले कर रहा है। कहीं ना कहीं गलती हमारी भी है। ये बार बार हम भी थक जाते लेटर लिख लिख के कि प्रतिबंध लगाया जाए। हम भारतीय होने के लिए हमारा भी कि भारतीय को, पाकिस्तान को पूरी तरह से बॉयकॉट किया जाए।
ये बड़ी बात आप
हम ऐसे करते हैं कि पाकिस्तान फिर दूसरे हमले का तैयारी करते रहेगा।
People like Diljit Dosanjh or those close to him, when they say, when this movie was being shot, India was not at war with Pakistan. That time, Pahalgam hadn't happened. But Pulwama had already happened. And we've been bleeding at the hands of Pakistani state-sponsored radical Islamist terror since 1947. For some reason, we failed to rise as a country, or people-to-people contact, they should be maintained, even if people like Mubashir Luqman or others say, Indian actresses, yeah, war booty, male ghanimat, bring them back as sex slaves.
Look, I don't know who this Mubashir fellow is. Clearly not important enough to be noticed by anyone except for his outrageous statements. But it's important to remember that there are no rules against bringing Pakistani actors in. I think we need an act which comprehensively bars any Pakistani from profiting from Indian money. You can't expect the citizen to go over and above the rules that the government deems fit to enact. So why are we placing the burden on Diljit Dosanjh? I think the burden has to be on the government to enact anything. YouTube should not allow a single view of a Pakistani channel from India to be monetized. Same with Instagram, same with Twitter, all of these. Ban only works up to a point. You see, you can bypass it with VPN. So this is very much a case of the government. We can go screaming about this as much as we want, but the fact is the government has to enact legislation. Second, there are two cases out here with the first banning and lifting. The first is, there are two kinds of regulation. One where there is a timeout, where all bans are time-bound and get automatically lifted. If that was the case, who was the officer who was designated to review this when the lifting came up? There is clearly a case of a error of omission. Unfortunately, in India, we don't criminalize it. I have long said it needs to be criminalized, which has to come up. Officer, minister, whoever it is. Second is a case if there is a ban in permanence, in which case it transitions into a crime of commission, because somebody has clearly seen that there is a ban and has decided to go ahead with it, with lifting the ban, even when when the Prime Minister has very clearly said that there is a pause in Operation Sindoor, it is not over yet. Yes. The third thing out here is we no longer make that distinction between the state and the terrorist. The Prime Minister made that very clear on his 10th of May speech. And I think the West has led in this. You've seen how, famous composers like Valery Gergiev and things were sacked by the Munich Opera, by the Munich Symphony Orchestra and things. Russians are denied visas to come to Europe. We need to learn from Europe and America. I think, what George Soros, these global leaders like George Soros and Pierre Omidyar have made countries like America and Britain and France and Germany do to the Russians should be our template. Why is it that we're condemning Diljit Dosanjh but not the BCCI? Tell me why.
Absolutely.
They're all so proud of the fact that we have the BCCI by the short and curlies. They dance to our tune. Tell me, tomorrow if we say that we're going to walk away from the Asian Cup, what is going to happen to the Asian Cup?